I really gonna wear this? Hey y'all. So about 5 days ago, I think, one insomniatic night, I woke up out of my sleep and said, I have to make a mushroom. And of course there were stipulations. I really wanted this to be a scrap yarn only project. So I grabbed this bucket and just threw all of the yarn in here that I think would work. And these were the colors that I ended up having. Then I isolated them together to see which yarn combinations I wanted. So first I had this white and this pink together. I really liked that one. Then I had this like beige and dark green color. And then I had the white and green. And I liked that one a lot too. And then I had that same beige color with dark brown. So this process was interesting. At first I wasn't excited at all because if you know anything about me, I hate working in the round. I don't like circles. And circles are not only the main component, but also the subcomponent of this entire pattern. So the circle I started off with was too big, and I used this ruffle hat that I had to kind of mimic the little frills at the bottom. So I would place it on top and measure it to see if it worked. And I was so in denial. It was way too big. I didn't want to accept it, so I would kind of like put it to the side and do more rounds, and I would lay it on top of this black hat, but it just kept on getting bigger and bigger. I even tried to convince myself by using the mannequin, which is a horrible idea because this mannequin head is even smaller than like the average adult size head, and it just wasn't looking good for me. Just watch me try to reason with myself to try to convince myself that this is gonna work. Okay, so the space here is good. And if I bring it up, I think this should work too. Purely nonsensical, but that's why you make important decisions in the morning. And not only did I not give up and turn around, I actually went on to add the ruffles. Wow. As you can already see, the color combination I did end up choosing was that beige and dark green, and this white color here is what I'm going to use for the spots on the top. Okay, I did have one really good idea at this time, that in one of the rounds I did my stitches in the front loop only so I could actually work the ruffles into itself. I really like that idea because initially I thought I would actually have to make two hats. So like that ruffly black one at the bottom and like the flat part at the top, which would be really thick and probably uncomfortable. So now I'm getting started on the ruffles, and don't let my swiftness to execute fool you. This ruffly part is a lot on the wrist. That's all I really have to say. So I went into one of the rows with the front loop only stitch. And the other reason why I love this idea is your stitches are going to be like a perfect circle because you just simply follow the round, versus if I had to sew it in, which I really didn't want to do. I hate using extra tools. It would kind of be hard to keep it like a perfect circle. At least I feel like it would be for me. So here I'm just checking the other side because I just wanted to see if like the color was showing on the top side, because I wasn't really looking for that, and it was actually great. So for the first round I went in with single crochet, and ooh, look at her right there. There's that perfect circle. I did also know I got this indentation on the top side where we attach the stitches. I don't really mind it either. I feel like it adds more dimension and shape to the hat. For the next following rounds, I went in with treble crochet. So I did something very similar to my extreme ruffle hat, but I didn't want it to be so extreme. So I just went ahead and put 5 treble crochet in each stitch in the round. And because I knew I was already kind of doomed at this point, I started cutting corners and figuring out ways that I could kind of see what my fate would be. So what I did was, instead of finishing out this round, I chained up and then I turned my work and I started adding the next 2 additional rounds to see how the inner ruffle would fall up against the top green part. This is because I wanted to know now how bad it actually was and if it was going to look good or not. This would also determine how frilly it would look. So here I am trying it on to the mannequin, and nope, it's really saggy. It doesn't really look good at all. It's just... no, just trying to save it. It's not going to work. Let's see if I finally come to my senses. Okay, so I start frogging it, this is good. This is a good sign. And look, who has more grit or more determination than me? I had the audacity to count up less rows to see if this would make the hat smaller. if this would be the thing that would finally bring us to victory. So my thought process here was if I brought it inward, the ruffles wouldn't be hanging out and they wouldn't be flailing and be all like weird how they were before. And I wouldn't have to do so many ruffles because every round you go in towards the center, there's less stitches. So basically less ruffles to make once I do my increase. I'm pretty sure that is what I was thinking right now. And here are the results of those thoughts. You guys, look at this. And I got so far. I can't believe it. So I was curious. I had to go and check, and it was Sunday, like 8 p.m. And my homegirl gave me a call. It's really nice to have someone to talk to you to keep you sane during these times because it can get really frustrating. So here we are, back at square one. I decided to start this circle with 8 half double crochet in my first round. The first one that I did, I started with 10. And I balled up that brown yarn, but I did not ball up my green yarn, so there it is. But that's a problem for future me. So another late night session. Are we surprised?
Why? I literally have no idea. And it's really like the inspiration sparks once the sun goes down.
And now I was even more confident. So this worked up so fast. These two clips were just under an hour apart and it's already taking shape without me doing anything. Even when I put it on the floor, it already kind of has that hat shape. And when I drop it on the mannequin, it looks fantastic. And to immediately save time, I went in and did the mock ruffles. So I just did 3 rows of the treble crochet to see if that was long enough. And I think it looks great. I went back in with my first round of single crochet and finally I called it a night. So as I started completing the 3rd row, you can see it's a little bit longer on the left side and a little bit shorter on the right side. I was getting a little torn because I, 1, wasn't sure which one I liked better, and 2, I wasn't certain I had enough of the beige yarn to complete the ruffles because they do take an obscene amount of yarn to do. I was feeling so sedentary. I was like, I gotta get moving. I need to make a decision. So I packed up all of my stuff, threw it in this Target bag, and I went on the treadmill. Oh, you thought we were taking a break? No. Please tell me I'm not the only one who does this, because every time I do this, people walk in looking at me crazy. But it's okay. We got to get these steps in. So unfortunately, while on the treadmill, I did run out of yarn. So I did have to make my way back, and this is all I had. I have to get from here to here. Let's hope we have enough.
Sorry if you can hear the plane in the background. I'm coming up to the end. About that many stitches left. Like this much yarn. So literally perfect. Before I go ahead and cut it, let me try it on. Okay.
Now it's time to add the spots.
Honestly, the easiest and most fun part was the dots. You can just make as many as you want. I will probably add more. They work up so quickly. They're literally just circles. You do have to sew those ones on. But because they're so quick and easy, it really doesn't matter. And for some reason, that doesn't really bother me because I guess because it's so random and there's no rules. You can see I like my crochet to be a bit chaotic. I don't like using too many tools, meaning if I can avoid using a yarn needle, stitch markers, all of that, I absolutely will. But unfortunately, I had an idea to like slip stitch this because you can see it's connected. At first I was like, oh, I'm not gonna connect it, it's fine. But no, when you connect it, it keeps these ruffles like in place and it's so cute. And then when you don't, it still looks very, very similar, but it kind of raises up and these little ruffles kind of like move. And I like how like when I move my head, they kind of stay in place. Sewing, so I did have to sew this, you know, like this brown part to the green part, which I don't like. So when I drop the tutorial, when I make the pattern, there will be no sewing or yarn needle needed, fingers crossed. I hope I'm able to figure that out. I already have an idea how I want to do that. Basically just want to slip stitch or single crochet as you go in the second last round.
And honestly, that was pretty much the entire process. So I was so excited about this hat. I didn't even close out the video. So I'm gonna do that now. Just to clarify, this isn't a tutorial per se. It's more of a design diary. And this is fresh off the hook. So at this time of recording, I do not have the pattern or the video tutorial, but when they're available, I'll link them down below. Please leave me your feedback if you've already tried either one of them, and let me know what you think about the hat. I think this is a super cute and whimsical project. So happy to share it with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below.
And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Today, I guess you can call me Toad.